What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Vodka, and we're back with another reaction. Today, we got another one from our Eastern Canadian brother. What's the dirt? He just dropped another banger. I'm assuming it's a banger because they're always a banger. They're always bangers. They're always banging. Wish I was always banging. I digress. Drake's push-ups, this actually explained. So he talks about the push-ups diss track that just dropped a few days ago, the one that I got clowned on because I had a subpar reaction, first reaction. I didn't respect it enough. Now that I've been listening to it all week, caught every bar, every single nuance. Oh, I respect it. It is heat. It is absolute heat. But I'm not here to talk about me. We might do like a follow-up thing about it if it's not too late. I don't know. But anyways, I'm excited to watch this. I hope you're excited to watch this with me. And without further ado, let go.
The biggest moment in rap in over a decade just happened. I literally cover beefs on this channel and that's it. So this is like Christmas for me.
W.
If anyone has been following this channel, you probably saw my coverage of Drake and Kendrick's long-running beef, as it is the biggest video on the internet regarding that topic. This subliminal shit's been going on for a very long time. Just 1 month ago,
A very, very long time, bro.
I told you guys that Kendrick was coming with some shots, and you clowned me. Like I said, I'll put my entire YouTube channel on the line here. Like, Kendrick will have a response to these records. And then this happened.
The big three, nigga, it's just big me, nigga, boom.
And I've also been telling you guys that counting Drake out of this thing is a huge mistake. If you're gonna sit there and count,
Look, I'm just gonna say, man. That's the wrong screen. But Drake just Infinity Warred everybody, man. Like it wasn't even like the end scene where Thanos is about to acquire the last Infinity Stone. We're talking like the beginning. We're talking the beginning where, Thanos grabs Loki and snaps his neck. Like the beginning, bro. Drake just showed what he can do. And that was a true warning shot. Not that shit that J. Cole did. I know there's a lot of people that still gas it up. I'm sorry, bro. But it wasn't. It was just... Even J. Cole knows, bro. He didn't even sound like he wanted to do it. Come on. And he references that this is a warning shot. Test me. Nah, what Drake did, was a real sit the fuck down, bro. You don't want this. Right? That was a real one. And it was scathing, bro.
Drake out entirely.
Yeah.
Like he has zero chance. Yeah. That just tells me that you really haven't been paying attention. Drake just dropped an atomic bomb, and this will be my most exciting breakdown that I've ever done on this channel. I could barely keep it together, I'm not gonna lie. So right off rip, I wanted to point something out about the original track that we got, which was the on-mix version, where Drake started out the record with a big sigh.
This is the one that everybody thought was AI. Even me, that reaction's up. Don't even bother watching it. It's just the whole time I'm like, I don't know if this is AI or not, We didn't know. Because the quality was ass. It was clearly... Now in hindsight, it's obviously someone who is, I don't know, maybe a chick sitting on the couch in the studio and just recording the audio with her phone and then just leaked it. Or somebody else, but, could have been a studio thought.
Now, this sigh was very similar to how we started off the Duppy freestyle against Pusha T. So, Drake is basically acting as if this is a huge inconvenience. Now, this did get removed from the final version, and
I do wish he kept that in, honestly.
Not sure why he removed it, but it could be based on superstition, because we all know how the Duppy freestyle played out.
You are hiding a child.
On the final version of the track, the record does not start out with a sigh, but instead the iconic Woo Kid drop.
Because I'm sure he's going to mention it. Let's not forget when the notes start rising a little bit, in comes the "What's Beef" sample from Biggie. That's really freaking dope that he did that. I wonder if Kendrick is gonna, because Kendrick is obviously coming. Like, I'm hoping he comes out with like a hit 'em up style video, but I wonder if he's gonna like sample something Tupac did or whatever. That would be dope.
Now, I'm not convinced for 1 second that Who Kid had much to do with the actual production of this record, and I feel that it is the drop in itself where Drake is sending a message. We're talking about a man that was along for the ride with the pettiest rapper to ever live, hosting some of the most iconic tapes that were full of diss records.
Yeah.
Drake is setting the tone for this war.
If young Metro don't trust you, I'm gonna shoot you.
There's no question about it that the drop is symbolic. Like, he's bringing us back to this era, like a very exciting era, the mixtape era, while giving us this moment himself. Another thing I wanted to point out about the leak is if you listen closely, you can hear that Drake samples Biggie's Get Money.
Oh, and we get money. Yeah. I forgot to mention that. Yes, I am aware of that.
Now, there is some more intended symbolism behind the choice of this sample. Biggie's Get Money is essentially a story about a woman that he cheats on, who becomes scorned and turns against him.
Damn, why she wanna stick me for my paper?
Now, this is going to make a lot more sense to you guys a little later in this video, but keep in mind when Future said this to Drake.
Pillow talking, acting like a fed dog.
And I also found a very similar line from a Rick Ross and Meek Mill track, and that track is only 4 months old.
So place a bomb bet. You haven't won yet. Never. We thick on our corners. Come and get a small bonus. Get it. This what you call moments. Pillow talking, informant.
Looking back at this now,
What the fuck? I ain't heard that. That's amazing. So Ricky Rose already had this plan.
Haven't won yet. Never. We thick on our corners. Come and get a small bonus. Get it. This what you call moments. Pillow talking, informant.
looking back at this now, I do feel like this was indeed a subliminal towards Drake that we just didn't catch.
Right.
Drake is a massive gambling guy, and Ross references placing bets and collecting a bonus. He then echoes a very similar line to Future, calling Drake a pillow-talking informant. Stay with me. Drake starts off the record by responding directly to Future's shot on a track that was released on March 22nd called We Don't Trust You.
You a nigga #1 fan, dog. Sneak this and I don't understand, dog.
It was on that track where Future claimed that Drake was his #1 fan, and Drake decided to clear that rumor up.
I could never be nobody #1 fan. Your first #1, I had to put it in your hand.
Drake stunts on Future by claiming that he could never be his #1 fan, pointing out how he was the first person to give him a #1 record, and that record was way too sexy.
I'm too sexy for this girl.
And as this
Really? I really thought it would have been Mask Off. But Way Too Sexy is a bop.
by claiming that he could never be his #1 fan, pointing out how he was the first person to give him a #1 record, and that record was way too sexy.
I'm too sexy for this girl.
And as this thing progresses and we get more diss tracks, we can expect more of the same from Drake, as he pretty much helped all these guys early on in their careers. I did see a post on Twitter from Hip Hop by Numbers, and they did the analytics to show that Drake has helped 32 artists to get their highest rank on the Hot 100 charts at the time. So when it comes to that shit, like, Drake has a very obvious angle that he could play. Drake then points out that he's a global phenom and that these guys couldn't do numbers outside of America.
You pussies can't get booked outside America for nan. I'm out in
That's such a hard line, bro. That's actually a really tough line, dog. Oh, pussies can't get booked outside America for nan. Ooh. The track just gets harder the more I hear it, bro. Hell, it makes me harder the more I hear it.
Tokyo because I'm big in Japan.
So we already know that the first line could not be directed at Kendrick because he is very much a global artist.
Yeah.
When it comes to Future, he has done some traveling, but outside of a few shows, he exclusively plays at music festivals, whereas someone like Drake sells out entire standalone shows. There's just a massive difference in being able to pack out an arena in Germany where your name is the draw, like your name is on the flyer, that's it. And, you know, playing a music festival in Belgium somewhere with, you know, 100 people on the lineup. Now, this Tokyo line might seem simple, but it has a lot of depth, and it might just be the direct cause of the tension between Drake and Future. This is a girl that goes by the name of Just Tokyo on Instagram.
Oh, shit.
Now, stay with me because I'm about to blow the fucking lid off this
Let's
thing.
go.
28 weeks ago, this woman is at Drake's It's a Blur tour in Miami. Here she is posting a video of Drake performing, and here she is next to one of the trailers.
Yo, that's crazy, man. I gotta stop doing that. My bad. That's crazy. Ignore those. Ignore those. Those don't exist anymore. But damn.
Now, I can't be sure, but I do see this woman as someone that Drake invited to the show, and he probably did that for a pretty good reason. However, just a few months later, she posted a series of videos for her birthday with the caption, "Thank you to my Free Bands fam for another celebration." For those that don't know, Free Bands is Future's record label. And just a few months later, she's front and center at Future's Rolling Loud show. Here she is next to another trailer, and here she is backstage with the "We Don't Trust You" t-shirt, where she included the caption, "Enough said," with the date that the album dropped. What's even more interesting is that this woman has been linked to Future for years now. Here's a photo from 2021. So when Drake says, "I'm out in Tokyo, I'm big in Japan," just think about it. The girl is Japanese.
I'm the only Japanese in the family.
Can I go 1 week without anybody talking about that Schmied incident? That's crazy.
Just think about it. The girl is Japanese.
I'm the only Japanese in the family.
He's saying he fucked her. Like, you know, he's big in Japan. He gave her the hammer.
My guy, we get it. We get it. You know. Yeah, you don't need to hammer that home, my guy. We got it, bro. We got it. That's tough, man.
And he fucked her. Like, you know, he's big in Japan. He gave her the hammer.
Yo, that hammer motion is nuts, my dude. Why'd you have to do the whole arm, dude?
Outside of that, this line wouldn't make any sense. Statistically speaking, Drake is not big in Japan. Japan is actually one of Drake's weakest markets.
Right.
Now, in the case of Kendrick, he performed in Tokyo in 2023 and had the crowd singing his lyrics word for word.
Yo, Kenny can use that, dog. Oh, I hope he uses that. I hope he uses that. But then, as we're getting to it, that's not what Drake meant anyway, right? Because he was doing some of that. Get out of here.
And I really started to realize just how big Kendrick was in
Real.
places like China when a guy hit me up a few weeks ago and he asked permission to translate my Kendrick and Cole video so that he could post it on a Chinese website.
Yo,
and I
let's
told
go.
the guy to just go ahead and post it.
Bro, that's a fat W. What a W. Man, I got to get in on this kind of video editing shit. I can't. I don't know how to do it.
Like, spread the love of hip hop. And I couldn't fucking believe it. He hit me back after and told me that the video is just going crazy in China right now, which blew my mind.
Yo, I got to check if that link's up in the description. If it's not, bro. Huh? Yeah, you're all right.
Drake then goes on to point out that he's the hit maker that all these guys rely on.
I'm the hit maker y'all depend on. Backstage in my city, it was friend zone.
Drake has been feuding with a lot of rappers as of late, so this could be directed towards multiple people. In the case of Rick Ross, he reached out to Drake back in 2010 to help with his album, and that's when we got Aston Martin Music.
I just needed time.
That track was a single on Rick Ross's Teflon Don album and was indeed the biggest single on the album.
Call Drake. Call my homie Drake. Shout
Drake just pumps those numbers, man. What you gonna do?
out to Drizzy Drake.
And due to the success of that record, Ross recruited Drake again for his next album, where he chose to promote the project with a Drake feature.
I'm in the condo just posted watching Miami kill.
Now, the track didn't make it on the album, but he did use Drake as like a promotional tool. However, Drake would
Smart
make
move.
it onto the album as he again gave Ross one of his biggest singles, Diced Pineapples.
Then we fuck all night till things get right.
That track is now a certified platinum record, and Drake would carry on to give Ross more big records like Stay Schemin' and Gold Rose. Drake is on quite a few of his biggest records, so this definitely could pertain to Ross. But this line pertains even more so to Future, as out of his 8 most successful records, Drake's name is on 5 of them. Personally, my favorite song that they ever did was Scholarships, but I mean, they got a lot of bangers. Now, as far as the line backstage in my city, it was Friend Zone. This could be pertaining to one of 3 people.
I'm thinking this one. I'm thinking this is Kendrick. I'm thinking it's Kendrick because of the old interview that Drake had. You know, after the Control verse came out and everything, and he was on stage and being questioned about a lot of things, and they were asking about Kendrick, and he said, I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but he said Kendrick ain't about that. You know, he was talking all this in Control verse, and then when I saw him, it wasn't on site. It was, yo, what's good, right? Dapping each other up and shit. So, I mean, yes, sure, years ago, but I do think he's referring to Kendrick. Or maybe he saw Kendrick a little, you know, not very long ago in the scheme of things, you know, maybe a couple years ago or whatever, and it was still all good, right?
People. Rick Ross was in Toronto on October 9th, 2019. Future was in Toronto for Rolling Loud on September 9th, 2022. And Kendrick was in Toronto August 12th and the 13th of 2022. And Drake did show up to that
Maybe it was all of them.
show.
There was video of Drake watching from a skybox at the Scotiabank Arena.
But Drake showing up to the concert is just a chess move.
You won't never take no chain off of us. How the fuck you big stepping with a size 7 man's on?
In the first line, Drake responds directly to Kendrick's threat on Like That when he said that he would snatch his chain.
Got 2 T's with me. I'm snatching chains and burning tattoos. It's up.
Drake then continues to play on Kendrick's album title, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, and points out how he can't be a big stepper when he's only 5'5". It's a great little punchline. I mean, he's adding a little bit of humor into the mix, and that's just all part of battling. Drake then makes it clear that he's ready for war, and he's diving headfirst into this thing.
This the part with the bite, nigga, what's up? I know my picture on the wall when y'all cook up.
That's one of the funniest bars in that track, honestly. Can you just imagine sitting in that booth, mean mugging? Man, fuck the big 3. It's just Big Me. Got a Drake poster right in front of him, probably all sassy and shit, laying like this on a bed. What? Guys, what the fuck are you saying right now, Vodka?
Second line, Drake
Weird,
references
bro.
that his picture is on the wall when they cook up, meaning that their hatred and jealousy towards him is the only inspiration that they have to even go into the studio.
that's
Again,
hard.
I've said this about Drake before, like a line like this just got Hove written all over it. Like, this is what Jay-Z used to do. He's gonna little bro you, he's gonna flex on you, he's gonna stun on you. That's Hove.
That's what this track was. It was just a big spanking. This is a big old spank track. What is wrong with me right now?
Extortion, baby, whole career, you been shook up. Cause top told you drop and give me 50 likes of push-ups. Hood.
This line
I'm gonna call this one, unless it hasn't been caught. But the you know, when what was that? I push these bitches off me like that track off of Big Steppers. I think it was a reference to that.
actually has a few meanings. Drake calls Kendrick an extortion baby, alluding to how
Of course, the extortion lines and everything, but I'm, you know, also prefacing with the Baby Keem and Kendrick shit.
Top told you drop and give me 50 likes of push-ups. Hood.
this line actually has a few meanings. Drake calls Kendrick an extortion baby, alluding to how Anthony Top Dog, the owner of TDE, has forced him into a shitty deal. Extortion is a tactic that is synonymous with gang culture, and Drake uses it here to reference Top Dog's ties to the Bloods. This was actually something that J. Cole spoke about very early on.
Niggas like, yo, yeah, he fuck with some dude named Top Dog. I'm like, who the fuck is a Top Dog?
Yeah, he need to.
He probably gonna fuck up his career. Some hood nigga that got this nigga locked up. Like,
Drake then mentions that Top Dog tells Kendrick to drop and give him 50, alluding to how Kendrick is like a little soldier and Top Dog is the sergeant, aka the boss. Drake then continues on by mocking Kendrick's ad-lib from his track Silent Hill.
Push no more off me like
But the line only gets deeper as Kendrick allegedly had to split 50% of his profits with TDE. And
See, this is why I gotta get into this shit, bro. See, I told y'all motherfuckers, man. Once I got time and I actually sit down and I digest everything, I catch it all, bro. I'm with it. I'm with them shits. Been listening to fucking hip hop since I was in diapers, bro. Get the fuck out of here. What do you mean?
Lastly, Drake references push-ups in a literal sense where there's actual footage of Kendrick doing push-ups. That line's fire.
Your last one brick, you really not on shit. They make excuses for you cause they hate to see me lit.
So pretty self-explanatory. Drake brings up the fact that the album that Kendrick dropped, which took 5 years to get, wasn't received very well and is often referred to as a flop.
Pull your contract, cause we gotta see the split. The way you doing splits, bitch, your pants might rip.
Alright, so this line is fucking crazy and everyone is missing it. First and foremost, when Drake refers to the contract and the split, he's referring to Kendrick's former TDE contract where it's alleged that 50% went to TDE. And that is the only part of the line that people are hearing. But Drake is not just talking about the old TDE contract. Drake wants to see what Kendrick had to agree to in order to leave TDE when the split from the label happened. So again,
nah, don't go there, bro. Don't go there, bro. Hold up.
When the split from the label happened. So again, he's playing into the whole extortion line, right? Like, what did you do to leave? Like, what did you have to agree to? I know these guys are still in your pockets. But this line is...
Okay, I thought it was going to be on some sussy shit, but all right.
Even deeper than that. You need to pay attention to when Drake says the way you're doing splits. Splits meaning not just the profit sharing split and not just the split from TDE itself, but another split entirely. Kendrick addresses cheating on his wife throughout his entire last album. While after some therapy, he is still with his wife today, it seems very likely that they did split at some point. By saying your pants might rip, Drake is poking at his rocky relationship in the sense that if a divorce happens, you will literally be split in two. Your pants might rip. Kendrick's wife will take half of everything he owns, just like his former label did. And all this shit.
That's hard. That's hard. I didn't think of it that way. It could be a reach. It could be a reach, but it does make some pretty good sense. I mean, is it really layered like that? Drake is sneaky like that, bro. Like he's kind of like the god of being sneaky. So, I mean, I would not rule it out whatsoever.
Shit is just going over heads. Like that line is fucking crazy, guys. Like crazy.
You better do that motherfucking show inside the bitty. Maroon 5 need a verse, you better make it witty. Then we need a verse for the...
Referring to when he did a song with Maroon 5 and The Lonely Island, YOLO. He was talking about like taxes and shit. Of course, he was on Bad Blood with Taylor Swift. I get that.
Swifties, top say drop, you better drop and give them 50.
Drake plays directly into his previous extortion line by saying you better do the show inside the biddy, insinuating that gang members are calling the shots and that Kendrick is powerless to their demands. You know how the blood swap out the C's for the B's, like Big Bull and Bracken and Brazy.
Damn, I wish I caught that. Because I was like, oh, what the fuck is a biddy? But now, as soon as he was talking about that and showed Top Dog's face, I was like, that's right, Bloods. Biddy, right, okay. Oof. Oh, that makes it even more hard, bro. That makes it more scathing. Yo, what the fuck?
that Kendrick is powerless to their demands. You know how to blood swap out the C's for the B's like Big Bull and Bracken and Brazy, sitting back eating a chocolate bit bookie. Drake continues to support his claims of Kendrick being a worker by bringing up his collaborations with Maroon 5 and Taylor Swift. Kendrick is...
Oh, hold up. Oh, he did like an actual collaboration with Maroon 5. I didn't know that.
With Maroon 5.
Don't want to know? Oh.
And Taylor Swift. Kendrick is very much a conscious rapper, and something tells me that Drake had some inside information that maybe he wasn't thrilled about doing these records, but didn't have any choice in the matter. I think those records were a good thing for Kendrick because he was able to show like,
yo, is Top Dog the new Suge Knight? Oh, that would be nutty.
I could do this pop shit too if I really wanted.
Pip squeak, pipe down. You ain't in no big three. SZA got you wiped down. Travis got you wiped down. Savage got you wiped down.
In the first line, again, because of his height, Drake calls Kendrick a pipsqueak, but also because
the fact that he uses SZA's name first is like a spit in the face, dude. Like a loogie.
You wiped down.
In the first line, again, because of his height, Drake calls Kendrick a pipsqueak, but also because Drake is a far bigger artist. He then goes on to address Kendrick's recent claims regarding the Big Three.
Motherfuck the Big Three. Nigga, it's just Big Me. Nigga, bum.
Drake points out that Kendrick is nowhere close to the Big Three, as SZA, Travis Scott, and 21 Savage all outsold Kendrick on their last albums. However, there's even more depth to the line when we look at the fact that Drake has had a #1 record himself with all three of those artists. Jeez. What's interesting to me is the fact that Drake doesn't mention J. Cole.
What the fuck is this, a 20v1, nigga?
Well, I think that's because what just happened. There's a good chance. There's a good chance. But, like, he's not including, like, Drake and J. Cole in that Big Three. Like, he already knows, like, they're in that, you know?
Drake doesn't.
Because let's be fair, Kendrick's not doing J. Cole numbers either, right? Which is sad. But I do believe that his pieces of work will be cemented in time. I really do. I really honestly think they're going to age like fine wine, and people will be talking about them shits forever. And that's not just because Kendrick is, you know, my favorite, but I do think he's just an ageless artist.
Doesn't mention J. Cole.
What the fuck is this, a 20v1, nigga? What's a prince to a king? He a son, nigga.
Now, this is exactly what makes a good diss track. As we've seen a few times already, Drake is directly rebuttaling Kendrick's best shots from Like That.
Nigga, Prince outlived Mike Jack, nigga, bum.
So in Kendrick's line, he's saying that Prince, who passed away in 2016, outlived Michael Jackson, who passed away in 2009, implying that Drake's music will not stand the test of time. Ooh. Drake takes the opportunity to perfectly flip this narrative by stating that, like MJ, who was the king of pop, a prince is just a son to a king.
Not to mention that Michael Jackson's son is named Prince.
At face value, this is already a great response, but when you realize that Michael Jackson's son is also named Prince, it adds a whole other layer. It's a very calculated line. Like, people have been counting this guy out, but he's really good at this shit, guys. He is.
Get more love in the city that you from, nigga. Metro, shut your whole ass up and make some drums, nigga.
The first line is extremely clear, where Drake points out that he's a far bigger draw in Kendrick's own city and that he gets more love. Drake then turns his sights on Metro Boomin and gives us one of the funniest lines on the track, telling the producer to shut up and get back to making beats. However, the sunning doesn't stop there, as Metro allegedly isn't the super producer like the industry suggests.
Allegedly, word in the production streets is that Metro, he's just the drum guy. For all that like super producer shit, my boy ain't the best with the melodies. That's what they've been saying. I don't know. That's what they've been saying.
Every other line on this diss has multiple meanings.
Yeah, I'm the sixth guy, I'm the front runner. Y'all nigga manager was Charles' little blunt runner.
Drake then switches ops again and hones in on The Weeknd, who seems to surface any time that Drake's slander is ongoing. Drake starts off by claiming that he's the sixth god, he's the king of Toronto, which is the city that The Weeknd reps. The clowning then continues as Drake makes claims that The Weeknd's manager Cash used to work for Drake's man Chubbs as a blunt roller. He's basically saying that the guy was like a lackey, like a servant, a personal assistant.
Plain of six and you boys ain't even come from it. And when you boys got rich, you had to run from it.
Drake proceeds to take shots at members of The Weeknd's management team, pointing out that they rep Toronto when they aren't even from there, which would evidently be true, as the co-founder is originally from Iran and the CEO is from Lebanon. Drake then continues to say that as soon as these guys got their hands on some money, they bounced. The Weeknd lives in LA, Cash XO lives in LA, and Sal lives in LA.
Cash blowing able bread out here tricking.
That's cold. But if you've seen Toronto, bro, there's not a lot of living you can do. Everything's so mashed.
Shit we do for bitches, he doing for niggas. Jets, whips, chains, wicked. Spinning like you tryna fuck, boy, you tripping.
Drake continues to clown The Weeknd's manager Cash. It's alleged that over the years, Cash would gift rappers jewelry, flights, cars, and all kinds of luxury shit. For example, here is an iced out ring that he gifted to Travis Scott, and 1 month ago, he gifted this XO chain to Future, and that's exactly who Drake is also making fun of in this line, and he does that by referencing Future's flow from his track Wicked.
Wicked.
I'm sick and tired of wearing this like knockoff Rolex, so if anyone...
My guy, make sure you go support this channel. We're just gonna skip past the ads here, or unless he's
anyone wants to buy me one, feel free.
Okay,
I'm just gonna put that energy out there. Amazon, $80, baby.
Drizzy Chippendale probably got your bitch Chanel.
So again, I gotta bring it back to this Tokyo girl, as she was literally gifted some Chanel shoes, making the post the very next day after she attended the Drake concert. Drake also references the cartoon Chip and Dale, who were two chipmunks that helped
This was the one I got flamed on a lot because I made a quick little mention, like he's talking about like the strippers, like what does he mean? But then getting flamed in the comments, letting me know that because Future obviously calls himself Pluto, Chip and Dale, they used to fuck with the dog Pluto. Hey, yeah,
everybody that needed help. Furthermore, Chip and Dale always fought with a character called Pluto, who they would always outwit. And as you know, Future also goes by the name Pluto.
Rolling loud stage, I would turn, that was slick as hell. Shit'll probably change if it BM started kiss and tell.
Drake acknowledges the moment at Rolling Loud where Future and Metro played an early version of Like That for the crowd. People seem to think that this line is about Travis Scott, but they are wrong, as this line is most definitely about Future. Drake is claiming that Future's shows might look a little different if his BM, aka Baby Mama, starts to kiss and tell. First and foremost, one of Future's baby mamas is Sierra, who had a track Kiss and Tell. However, when I looked into this further, I found that Future has 8 children with 8 different women, but due to the fact that Drake uses the initials BM, I've narrowed it down to this woman right here.
Man, this motherfucker is like looking with a little tiny microscope or magnifying glass, searching with a fine-tooth comb. He's an investigator. This motherfucker's Batman, bro. This motherfucker is Batman. This motherfucker Batman. That's tough. That's some hard shit.
Brittany Mealy. Now, Future has had a real rocky relationship with this baby mama in particular, including a recent court battle for child support, which she won. Now, Drake seems to be in contact with this woman, and it would appear that she has some career-altering dirt on Future that Drake now also knows about.
Hugs and kisses, man, don't tell me about no switches. I'll be rocking every fucking chain I own next busy.
In the first line, Drake takes a shot at The Weeknd, calling him soft, as his XO label is sometimes interpreted as hugs and kisses. The line, of course, also acts as a rebuttal to Kendrick's line from Like That, where he's talking about switches, and Drake is basically claiming that Kendrick's not built like that either.
I be rocking every fucking chain I own next visit, ayy. I be with some bodyguards like Whitney.
Again, Drake.
Here we go. Here we go. So a lot of people are like, it's not that deep. Line's not that deep. It just ain't. Whitney Houston was in a movie called Bodyguard. Yeah, but we're learning very quick that Drake doesn't just do face value shit. This is what you hear on the surface. That's what a lot of people hear on the surface. And they go, yo, shit. But the people really, really honing in are really hearing, and we are thinking that is some wild shit. I'm going to let him explain. But we ain't talking Whitney Houston.
Drake is responding directly to Kendrick's claims on Like That, where he name-dropped his bodyguard 2T's and claimed that he would snatch Drake's chain. Drake's coming with that energy, man. Like, he's coming, he's rocking every fucking chain next visit. That's hard. However, it is really the second line that got a lot of people talking. First and foremost, Drake claims that he's with some bodyguards like Whitney, which is an ode to the movie The Bodyguard, starring Whitney Houston and Kevin Costner. This movie is about a bodyguard that is hired to protect Whitney, and they end up falling in love. To further complicate this whole thing, Kendrick's wife's name is also Whitney, which could mean that she slept with her bodyguard. Jeez. When Drake really wants to put emphasis on something that I noticed over the years is he tends to drag out his words. We saw the same thing with Duppy Freestyle when it came to Pusha's wife.
Let it ring on you like Virginia Williams.
And just think about it. Like, if this is actually true, and Kendrick hired a man with his own money to protect his wife, Whitney, like the movie The Bodyguard, and she really was fucking around on him like that, this line is even more fucking crazy, if this is true. And I'm so committed to this whole thing that I literally watched the entire movie last night with my girl, and while it didn't do much for me, it made me remember that Drake has mentioned this movie before.
Bodyguards don't look like Kevin Costner, you tweaking.
When we look at just how calculated Drake is, I don't believe for 1 second that Drake is mentioning this movie again on one of his most scathing diss records of his entire career.
Just pulled up to Whitney, Houston, Texas for the evening.
I think this is a true subliminal in the sense that we don't get it, but Kendrick does. Even Pusha T admitted that he felt like Drake was exceptional at these types of subs.
You know, lines here and there that I feel like, and he's really good at that. Like,
he's great at that.
Great at that.
Yeah.
Broader line that like
him and
goes under the radar. And
he's one of the best with the sub.
Look, guys, where there's smoke, there's fire. Kendrick has had
That was Pusha talking, by the way, if you couldn't catch that. My big stupid face was covering him.
Plenty of issues with his wife, and I'm standing on this one. Drake knows something.
Top say drop your little midget ass, better fucking. Hey, better drop and give me 50. Hey, drop and give me 50.
As Drake continues to bring up this 50% narrative, he's not speaking in the past tense, and he's making it seem like even today, Top Dawg still has his hands in Kendrick's pockets. It's very interesting. Something else to mention about this little hook is that Drake is paying homage to Mike Jones, dropping Give Me 50. Now, beyond paying homage, you can best believe there's a reason why he selected this record. I just can't figure it out.
Niggas really got me out here talking like I'm 50. Niggas really got me out here rapping what I'm living.
Coming off the iconic Wu Kid drop, Drake claims that he's attacking the situation like 50 Cent. Bear in mind, 50 does indeed have a history of dissing a bunch of rappers on a single record. And when he says, like, you got me rapping what I'm living, he's just meaning, like, I'm coming with facts. Like, I'm giving receipts. I really did give you your first #1. You really did leave Toronto. Your album really did flop and came 5 years. I really am way...
Thought I went deaf in my right ear for a second, but a little bit of technical foul Little technical foul. It's okay. It's okay. Still a fire video.
Richer than you. I really am way bigger than you. I really do have all the most number ones. He's rapping what he's living.
I might take your latest girl and cuff her like I'm Ricky. Can't believe he jumping in, this nigga turning 50. Every song that made it on a chart he got from Drizzy. Spend that little check, you gotta stay about my business.
In the first line, Drake says, cuff her like I'm Ricky, clowning Ross for being a correctional officer back in the day. Now, the fact that he also calls him Ricky is an ode to 50 Cent's hilarious skits about Rick Ross.
Officer Ricky! Damn, Rick!
Now, the leak...
Yo, hold up. I just gotta mention, bro. If you guys weren't around for that, bro, that was peak. That was peak 50 trolling, dog. That was top tier shit right there, man. That Officer Ricky beef shit was crazy.
Officer back in the day. Now, the fact that he also calls him Ricky is an ode to 50 Cent's hilarious skits about Rick Ross.
Officer Ricky! Damn, Rick!
Now, the leaked version had a line that I did want to point out.
Worry about whatever going on with you and
So he leaves out the last line, but we can fill in the blanks. He's talking about Diddy, and Rick Ross does have some allegations about connections to Diddy.
As I was doing the edit, I thought of something else too. When Drake says cuff her like I'm Ricky, that could actually be a reference to the Diddy shit too. Like these freaky ass parties, like with the cuffs and shit, you know what I mean?
Shout out to the hooper that be busting out the gritty. We know why you mad, nigga, I ain't even tripping. All that little heartbroken Twitter shit for bitches.
This line is directed at Ja Morant, who is known for doing a dance called the Gritty. When Metro posted a tweet that said, once you pick a side, stay there, Ja seemingly sided with him by retweeting, stay on that side. When Drake says we all know why you're mad, he's likely referring to how he was spotted on a date with Brooklyn Nicole, and she is Ja Morant's ex. When you think about it, man, like the way it seems right now, Drake's got most of these dudes shook over pussy. Really, like not all of them, but a lot of them.
In that fucking song, y'all got to not start the beef with us. This shit been brewing in a pot now, heating up.
Pretty self-explanatory. I told you guys this 4 months ago, and a lot of you guys said I was crazy.
I don't care what Cole think, that dot shit was weak as fuck. Champagne tripping, he is not fucking easing up.
And while Drake doesn't really say anything bad about J. Cole, he does kind of stunt on him a little bit by just showing that he's not afraid to do this shit. This is further solidified when Drake claims that he has no intentions of easing up, possibly alluding to Cole's apology for his diss. Everyone was basically claiming that J. Cole was the only person capable of going toe-to-toe with Kendrick, and he bowed out. I feel like Drake was very disappointed with J. Cole, and not including him in the Big Three line from earlier was telling.
You ain't in no Big Three. SZA got you wiped down. Travis got you wiped down. Savage got you wiped down.
And First Person Shooter is where it all started. J. Cole's the one that said the Big Three. So you'd think that Drake would take the opportunity as a slam dunk to throw Cole's name in there, but he doesn't.
Nigga calling top to see if top want a piece of the top, want a piece of the top, want a piece of the nah, pussy, now you on your own when you speaking up.
So Kendrick announced his departure from TDE back in 2021, and after Mr. Morel, he was supposedly a free man. Drake clowns Kendrick and claims that as a result of this beef, he's going to be calling Anthony Top Dog to try and piece things up. Now, a lot of people seem to think that Kendrick is buddy-buddy with the guys over at TDE, but there has been rumors that this is not the case. I did watch a video a while back from a creator called Geek About It, and he put together a pretty compelling narrative. So big shout out to that guy. I'm going to leave a link to his video in the description. And he's got like 16,000 subs, so run the subs up for him. He's got a good channel.
You don't roll deep to this and not fucking deep enough.
This is one of my favorite lines on the track. It's just such a hard narrative flip given the fact that all the biggest artists in the game are teaming up on Drake, and he's still saying, sorry, that's still not enough.
Numbers wise, I'm out of here, you not fucking creeping up. Money wise, I'm out of here, you not fucking sneaking up. Cornball, your show money, merch money, feed us.
When Drake finds these...
Oh, that's such a hard line, bro. Oh, that hit so hard, dude. your merch money fee to us. You ain't shit. We wipe our ass with you with what you make, bro. You ain't shit.
That's all the biggest artists in the game are teaming up on Drake, and he's still saying, sorry, that's still not enough.
Numbers wise, I'm out of here, you not fucking creeping up. Money wise, I'm out of here, you not fucking sneaking up. Cornball, your show money, merch money, feed us.
When Drake finds these little pockets like this, like it just reminds me so much of Jay-Z. Like, your show money is merch money to us. Like, it's just that braggadocious money talk, numbers talk. Like, what are we doing? What are you talking about?
I'ma let you niggas work it out because I seen enough. This ain't even everything I know, don't wake the demon up. This ain't even everything I know, don't wake the demon up.
This is by far the most confident Drake that we have ever seen going into a battle. Now, we don't know what Drake knows, but I'm going to call it right now. He's about to blow the fucking doors off this thing. This one's different for Drake. He's coming in different. Drake then switches it up and goes into a far more melodic flow. Drake is literally begging Kendrick to drop, which honestly tells me even more that he's got something crazy in the tuck. Regardless of what you hear online, this is a very, very solid diss record from Drake. Drake is the one that took the plunge here. He's the first one to come with this type of energy. He came reciting facts. He rebutted every line that anyone said about him. And while he did get personal in this record, he did not reveal his whole hand. Drake has left us wondering what else he has in the tuck. This is a very solid record. And you guys are always trying to pinpoint like what team I'm on. Like he's a Kendrick Glazer. He's Team Kendrick. And now because of this video, because I'm talking favorably about Drake, you guys are gonna call me a Drake Glazer. I'm not on anyone's team. Like just because I'm complimenting Drake for what he did in his diss, I'm just speaking facts about this diss. It's a great record. But when it comes to a team, I don't have a team. I'm Team Hip Hop. When Kendrick drops his diss, whenever that is, I'm going to come in with just as much energy for that video. I love this shit. I'm Team Hip Hop. There is no picking sides.
What's the Dirt is so dope, bro.
He kills it, right? His Kendrick
so
and
fire.
Drake.
Hold it, bro. That shit is so hard, dog. Run it back.
And shout out to my dude, What's the Dirt, because I do like him. I do.
Oh yes, he's dope. What's the Dirt? Shout out to that person. The homie looked like he did a good job.
I saw that clip on YouTube. The guy did a good job.
He did.
He did a good job with that.
It came across my.
That's crazy. This guy's the Nostradamus. Yo! What the fuck, dude? What the fuck? Who's that? Who's that sexy motherfucker, man? Hey, yo! I don't mean to toot my own horn and shit, but goddamn, bro. I gotta call my mom. We up now. Nostradamus of rap.
Fresh out.
The Nostradamus of rap, baby. Hey. Damn. Oh. That was another fucking banger. Another motherfucking banger. What's the Dirt, bro? God damn, bro. You just got so much motherfucking talent, dog. Yeah, that shit was fire. Guys, Kendrick will respond. I heavily know that Kendrick will respond. There's so many people. Will he drop yet? Has he dropped yet? Drake all up in his fucking IG stories. Gonna happen or nah? Bro, it's gonna happen. Y'all gotta remember, Kendrick baited you, Drizzy. That was bait. He's been subliminally hitting you up for years. And then he found a perfect pocket and opportunity in an album that was clearly directed at Drake the whole time to officially be like, yo, put him up. It's time. And I feel like at that point, like Drake wouldn't have responded. Oh my God, chill out. I feel like Drake wouldn't have responded, but he had so many motherfuckers in his ear. And maybe even at that point, he was like, nah, man, it ain't shit. I'm at the top of the mountain. Why would I do that? And the next thing you know, a whole album on his shit. And then We Still Don't Trust You drops. And then Drake was probably like, damn it. All right. You know, and then he hops in and lays that nasty track down too, man. It is he backhanded everybody. Just he put baby powder on for Kendrick. You know? That's just crazy, man. Guys, if you like this reaction, make sure to hit that like and do that shit over there. Do some of that, whatever you do. Go follow, please. Go follow. I know I ain't shit, but if there's some of you out there who are not aware of what's the dirt is, please, man. This dude is legendary. This will truly become a legendary channel. I have no doubt in my mind. So, I'll see you guys next time for the next reaction. And until next time, peace off. Yeah.